Listen up, I got a story to tell. We're raising hell every Monday and Thursday.
Culture, listen up, I got a story to tell. We're raising hell every Monday and Thursday. Pop culture unleashed, facts unfiltered, hype increased. Just unleashed, breaking through the screen, living in chaos, creating the dream. This is where rage and humor collide, so hold on tight. I got that drive in me, for the life of me, staying truly thankful for the fans I see. Talking to people of all types, making the chat hype. The more united we are, the higher we all fly. Got that drive in me, for the life of me, stand truly thankful for the fans I see. Talking to people of all types, making the chat hype. The more united we are, the higher we all fly. Unleashed, breaking through the screen, living in chaos, creating the dream. This is where rage and humor collide, so hold on. Starts igniting, my brain starts igniting. When shame starts writing, God placed us in this fighting to speak and enlighten. We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera lights dim, the chat starts to grin. The stream is live and buffering, the show is about to begin. So sit down and buckle it in. This is Unleashed, breaking through the screen. Pop culture chaos, living the dream, and the dream. Every Monday and Thursday, pop culture unleashed, living the...
You know the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit. Unbelievable, unremarkable shit.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair.
Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live!
Shame on you. This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you.
Well, I'm not going home.
Day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
I really do believe that together we can accomplish anything.
Because we'll never stop learning and we'll never stop growing.
Failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done. Believe me when I say
We can break this army here. It has made us brothers.
I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time.
You've got to get mad.
I mean plumb mad dog mean.
If you would be free men, then you must fight to fulfill that promise. Let us cut out their living guts
1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
This is your time. Seize the day.
Never surrender. Victory or death.
So come on then! Take it!
This is where we hold them.
This is where we
This is where we fight.
All right, let's fly! My name is the Lord. When I
tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take
our Independence Day. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera up. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go!
Woo! Welcome to Pop Culture Unleashed. We are not flopped, but that's okay. Today is Thursday, September 26th. I'm Shane, and sitting next to me is my sexy teddy bear of love, Brian.
That's right.
Brian is still coming down from this fantastic voyage to the set of Pop Culture Crisis, a show where he did such an amazing job. I thought I might lose him to them forever. Brian, tell us about your field trip last week and why we didn't have a show.
Yeah, it was a good time. I went to see Mary and Brett. And man, I gotta tell you, the flight is horrible. I hate that flight. It's like 5 flights, and you're like sitting in the middle seat, and I'm a big dude, and I'm sitting next to this. Luckily, the first flight, I'm sitting next to this little guy. He's like 90 pounds, right? But he's clearly annoyed that there's a big guy, encroaching onto his space.
They all are, always.
Yeah. And then there's a guy next to me who's really apathetic, and he just sort of, listening to his headphones. Well, the lady comes, and she's like, what do you want to drink? And I'm like, Coke Zero, please, right?
Mm.
And the guy next to me is like, excuse me. She's asking me. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a great flight.
Oh, wow. So you were corrected.
Yeah, I was
and
corrected.
You're much bigger than him. It must have been brave. You must have been brave.
I was corrected by the little 90-pound twink. Yeah, well, listen, the whole thing, the travel aside, the actual experience was great. The show was great. Brett's awesome. Mary's awesome. Really fun people. It was just a fun time, fun show. And I think everyone else had fun too. So that was really worth it.
Yeah, you really seemed to come alive. You were in your element. I loved it. It was great. You were throwing money in the air. They have all kinds of weird stuff. So
we gotta get one of those money machines, bro. Every time when someone does a super chat, just money
just spits money everywhere. I love that.
Shoots money out.
All right, today we have a lot of interesting things we're going to talk about. For starters, we've got Joker star Joaquin Phoenix pulls out of a graphic gay romance movie. And a longtime Todd Haynes producer says it's just criminal. We'll be going deeper into that. No pun intended. Wild Robot set to walk through the weekend with a $20 million box office opening. The kids movie is going to be apparently pretty huge. And on the flip side, Francis Ford Coppola's Megapolis is only set to make $5 to $7 million. Brian, are you going to go see either of those movies?
No, Megalopolis. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Megalopolis.
Megalopolis.
How do you pronounce that? Megalopolis?
Megalopolis
looks really boring. I know it's supposed to be his magna opus or whatever. Is like
he spent his whole life wanting to make this, waiting for the technology to catch up to the point where he can make it.
Yeah,
Adam Driver.
Okay. I think Adam Driver's a talented guy, but I don't find him very exhilarating. All
right, we'll talk more about it here shortly. You may be rich and not even know it. Did you know that? Apparently, there is more than $20 billion of unclaimed money out there, and some of it could be yours. We're going to find out if you're one of them.
I'll take some
later.
Of it. I'll take some.
We're going to find out if Brian's one of them. We should look it up on the thing and see if you're suddenly rich. It would change everything.
Yeah, what's funny is if you see my face change and then I go, show's over, and I disconnect, that means
that's it.
I'm very rich now, and I'm gonna leave.
Wow,
I won't see you guys ever again.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't need to work anymore. I'm going to an island somewhere.
You're done. Sean P. Diddy Combs, we've heard his name lately in the news, and an employee apparently raped a woman and then sold the assault film as pornography, a lawsuit claims, amidst Combs perhaps going on a hunger strike while in prison. So I guess we can talk about that. He's got some serious.
He was like, listen,
Epstein vibes going.
Yo, listen, I am not going to kill myself. I want to be really clear with everyone right now.
He really needs to say that.
I am completely sane in my mind. I am not going to kill myself. In no way am I depressed. I'm going to be very clear. I am not going to hang myself or shoot myself or bury myself in the back of Clinton's backyard. I'm sorry, anyone's backyard. I'm not doing it.
I did hear somewhere out there that Obama had been to one of his parties, and I'm like, oh, you're done.
You're dead, bro.
If that's true, you're dead, dude.
That's it.
So we'll see. Trump says he will not debate Harris again. What is the plan going forward? Harris did her second pre-recorded interview with the Friendly Left Media on MSNBC last night. Was she able to communicate a cohesive message, or was there more out of control laughing? I caught that one, Brian, but that'll be fun to talk about.
I can't control it.
You got to do it also sound a little drunk while you do it. At the same time. It makes it so hard. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, yes. Biden approved an additional $8 billion for Ukraine today,
of course,
which will bring the total to $64 billion so far. Where is that money going? And will it help end the war? or will it keep it going forever? Something we'll talk about. The man who was about to assassinate Trump on his golf course left a letter detailing his plans, including offering money for someone else to finish the job.
Oh,
isn't that interesting? Yeah. Another unhinged leftist from Idaho was charged with making threats against the former president, saying he wants Trump in a body bag. We have a video of that for you.
You ever notice that like they all look alike?
They do. They are generally white, and they got the screw looks loose or a wire's cut or something.
Shy of a dozen.
Yeah. What else we have here? We also got a man goes on a racist tirade during a road rage incident on the 405 freeway in Los Angeles. Why was this the headline? Can this guy even be racist? And you'll understand that more when we watch the video, which is very intriguing.
Yes, video's good.
Line in the Sand by a film by undercover journalist James O'Keefe is coming out that reveals the true shocking reality of what's happening with illegal immigrants coming into the United States. We're going to show you the trailer on that movie. It looks interesting. And, if you know James O'Keefe, he does have a slant, but you're going to see some stuff that nobody's shown you before. 100%.
Yeah, every time with that guy. That guy is very talented. I can't figure out how people don't know that he's an undercover journalist by now.
By now, right? They should have figured it out.
Yeah, it's like,
aren't you like, yeah?
Yeah, we got footage of the CEO of CNN talking about his. I'm like, how did you do that? And it always show like it's like him at like a restaurant with some guy, and they're clearly on a date. And like James O'Keefe, he just has glasses on. Like, yeah. It's like he's Superman all of a sudden. Guy. Glasses is all it takes to completely hide his identity.
Yeah, I think he's one of those aliens that can change his appearance, and yet the outward appearance stays looking the same.
And he's finding these guys on like apps, like dating apps. And so he just like puts like a thirst trap picture up there, and they take the bait, and all of a sudden he's getting all the information he needs to make his next video.
O'Keefe must be sexy undressed. Anyways, also bosses are firing Gen Z grads just months after hiring them. We'll talk about what they need to see, what kind of things they need to do to change. And as a father of 5 Gen Z children, I have my suspicions.
Yeah, I have my suspicions too, and I am not a father of Gen Z kids. So
people are being killed by e-scooters. It's become a late craze that everybody's riding those things around. Also, Switzerland has a science fiction looking suicide capsule, and it's raising more morality questions surrounding killing yourself.
Like Futurama?
It looks okay. We'll see if it connects with Futurama.
Okay. All right.
And last but not least, Meta's Orion glasses are real. Check out what they can do, and more importantly, what they cost. Brian, let's have a great show today, brother.
That is what I want, one of those glasses. Okay, so this is how the super chats work, my friends. First off, we have 2 super chats already came in. We're gonna do them right now. But I picked up the thing from PCC, and I think that this is the best way to do super chats. If you give a super chat over $20, we'll stop and we'll address you immediately. Anything under $20, then we'll address all the super chats at the end of a particular segment.
You're not worthy. You're not.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's just that we can't interrupt every minute and a half. And I asked Brett.
We would like to interrupt every minute and a half, though.
Yeah, it'd be great. But we can't. So we're going to cover all super chats at the end of a story, unless they're over $20. Then we'll stop and we'll let you have your piece. That said, we did our first super chat from Drew D. I haven't seen your name for a while, Drew. Good to see you, my friend. He said, I'm so glad I was able to make the show today. I missed you too. Oh, Drew,
man.
We missed you, man.
Too. Didn't I play you in fantasy football last week, bro? Or this week? I think I actually played it this week. I'm doing really poorly, but he'll probably kick my butt. Thank you so much, Drew.
I wonder how I'm doing. I gotta check that.
Hey, you gotta win.
I gotta win?
Who would I beat?
Who would I beat?
I can't remember who it was.
Okay. I bet you it was Drew D.
I doubted he plays better than you.
All right. And $100 super chat. Woo! From Kenneth LaRoque coming through.
Ken.
My man. Man, what? Dude, you're so generous. I appreciate that, Ken. You are amazing.
I wish I could put something like drop money or something from
the sky. That's what I'm saying. We need one of those money machines, bro. The first thing I did when I left Pop Culture Crisis is I Googled the money machine. I was like, I need one of those.
Did you?
So basically, you load it with money
the whole time.
and you shoot and you push a button and it like just shoots money all over the place. I want one of those things. I will put that on a trigger, and every time a super chat goes on, you just see money behind us.
I love it. I love it. We need to do that. And thank you so much, Ken, from our Superman from Canada. We love you, man, and thank you. Been with us a long time. We appreciate you so much. And that's going to help us pay for next week's show. Yes.
Yeah. Also, you also had a members chat that I can't actually pull them up because this system is broken for members chats still. But it says this space for rent. That's pretty funny.
I like that.
I mean, when you've been a member for this long, like you are at the top of the list, right? So like, hey, you should start, getting sponsors for your members chats every week.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. And if you lived in Argentina, now they have no more rent control. They got rid of that. So Ken, you could make quite a bit of money in Argentina for that space.
Argentina. That's all right. Well, listen.
Yes.
Rock and roll. Thank you,
Let's
Ken.
rock and roll.
Thank you, Drew.
Appreciate you guys so much.
Let's jump into it, man.
Yeah. So the first one we're going to talk about, let's go back to, and this was, it was kind of weird news, but when Joaquin Phoenix, when you hear about Joaquin Phoenix doing something crazy and weird, nobody really bats an eye because Joaquin Phoenix is constantly doing crazy stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But what got interesting is when this news popped here, and we've got a little article we can show you guys. Basically, it was kind of hush hush. So Joaquin Phoenix has been working on this movie that he was going to make for quite a few years. He's been working. He actually co-wrote it, and essentially what it is, it's a film, and it's a love story between two men set in the 1930s that has explicit sexual content. I guess one is a Native American character, and the other one is a corrupt cop in LA, and they have to flee LA to go to Mexico. And I think this started back when, Brian, if you remember when Joaquin Phoenix was like, he'd go on talk shows and not speak. Like he was all disheveled. He looked like a homeless person.
He was like super method, right?
Yeah. He was like, not just method, but like, I don't know. It was like testing society's framework, to see how far he could push his fame.
I guess.
I don't know. He did just a whole bunch of weird stuff.
I liked her, actually. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I sort of liked it. I mean, it was a little boring, but it had a cool concept.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But it's the whole point is like Joaquin is just, he wants to be whoever he's going to be. And so people know that. That's why he's so good as the Joker, because you're like, what's this guy going to do? We have no idea. Well, so apparently several years ago, he started doing this. And I have a feeling that he was doing this kind of in that time when he was like testing the waters, because according to the lady in this producer who's devastated and saying that it's criminal that he backed out of this.
Is the middle one a lady?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
I think so. I don't want to, I mean, okay, I'm going to go with some old traditional, like there's some lipstick there and it does seem like a feminine.
Yeah. I honestly, when I first saw this article, I was like, I couldn't figure it out. So
it is.
I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm legitimately asking a question. I do not know.
Her name's Christine Vachon.
Okay.
And she's been a longtime producer for Todd Haynes films. And he's a kind of an independent movie guy. He did films like May, December, and Carol.
Okay.
But so anyways, Joaquin was going to work with him. And so Joaquin was writing this script, and he was like, they would write some like really graphic sex scenes like between the two guys. Like, and of course Joaquin's going to be acting. This is like Brokeback Mountain on like speed.
So it's gay porn.
Right. Yeah. And basically he was pushing, let's go further. Come on, let's go.
Let's go further.
Let's go further.
Yeah.
And so he was pushing it. And then of course,
fire the intimacy coordinator.
Why would you fire him? Bring another one.
No.
Give us three of them.
We need full peen. Get rid of the coordinator.
Full peen. So apparently, as things changed and as times changed, he decided, you know what? I don't want to do this movie. And there's been no answers given as to why specifically. But if you notice, Joaquin Phoenix has become somewhat less, socially challenging, and he's become more of a regular guy. And some would speculate that perhaps he didn't want to, I don't know, put out something like that at this time.
Well, I mean, also he might not be gay, and if you're constantly okay, so he's not gay. So Joaquin Phoenix is not gay, and they're constantly amping up how gay and sexual it is. He's just like, at what point are you like, Look, I'm a method actor, bro, but listen, I am not gonna, give this guy fellatio on camera. I'm just not gonna do it. Like,
yeah. Oh, there was a time when he might have, though.
Perhaps, but at this point, he's like, this is like, and you know what? If it's too much for Joaquin Phoenix, then maybe you've gone too far. Right?
maybe, yeah. Vachon, she actually she deleted a Facebook post that originally, after the news broke that he wasn't going to do it. She did come out and say, listen, please, if you're tempted to finger wag or admonish us that that's what you get for casting a straight actor, don't. This was his project, so confirmed this is Phoenix's project. He brought it to them apparently to want to do it. So I just think that he's changed and decided, look, I don't want to do gay porn in a movie. I think that's what ultimately has happened. So the fact that she's calling it, though, I think what's interesting is she's calling it criminal. And yeah, I just don't know at what point, if a guy decides he doesn't want to do a movie, and it does suck because they got funding for it. They were going forward. They were going to do it. But, listen, if for all eternity your name's going to be on a movie and it's going to represent you, you get to determine whether or not you ultimately want to go through that. What do you think, Brian?
Listen. I saw I had some buddies on YouTube that talked about this already. And they're like, what about all the crew members and people and grips and craft services now that are out of a job? Listen, you know how many productions, excuse me.
That's what's going to be cool about this is you guys can't see what Brian's yelling at, but it's going to be really funny because that's what happens when you can't see it.
Like they're having a party, like right outside my studio door. Oh my God, it's so distracting. Anyways, so some folks already talked about this and they're like, yeah, what about the crew and all these productions? Hollywood movies, productions end all the time. Whether it be an actor or a studio canceled it or they run out of money or name a reason. For every one movie you see, 25 of them got canned. Okay? This is not a new thing. So to blame it on Joaquin because the creator was getting, and I'm not sure what his reasons are, but I'm assuming that, it might have been bordering on uncomfortable for Joaquin Phoenix, which is hard to do. Okay? And if you're going that far with it, he's like, I'm not putting my name on this. He has the right to decide he doesn't want to do a gay porn snuff film.
I love how we keep adding to like the level of depravity.
I know. Yeah, you're right. We do, but he has the right to decide he doesn't want to put his name, his face, and his body into that project. And if you want to complain about him not doing it, and now people are out of job, you're just grasping at reasons to admonish Joaquin Phoenix when you know he has every right to do it.
Let me tell you why Joaquin Phoenix is not doing this film. You ready? Joaquin Phoenix had a son in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
He had a kid. He had a kid in 2020, and he does not want to leave this as his legacy.
Yeah.
Even being an actor.
Yeah.
There's a limit.
Imagine he's like, yeah, so listen, I have a kid now, and I don't want him to see me getting reamed in the rear for 20 minutes on film. So,
yes.
No, thank you.
And also, Drew D, he did have a second child in 2024. So he's like, look, okay, this is...
There's kids involved now. I'm not doing the gay porn snuff orgy film. I'm not doing it.
And the question is, will he enter the Eddie Murphy phase of his career where he only wants to do family stuff coming up? That'll be interesting. Have Joaquin Phoenix doing hilarious family films.
I'm here for it. I love Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's great. I don't know about the exact reasons. I think you're probably right. It's probably because he had kids and he's like, this is too much, guys. What are you doing? But I think that them trying to shame him for not wanting to do it. Why don't you shame all the other actors and actresses and producers and musicians that pulled out of projects that either no longer interested them, weren't getting paid enough for, was too physically demanding, whatever. But a lot of people are shaming this guy. I find it very telling that they're shaming Joaquin Phoenix for not doing, the gay porn snuff film when I know I'm being hyperbolic there. I apologize.
It's okay.
The hyper gay film, when they don't ever criticize anyone else for pulling out of a movie because they feel uncomfortable with the physical demands of said movie. Yeah, it just goes to show how strong this coalition of people are, that they can have this, like, even the media is completely behind them. Like, oh yeah, I can't believe you did that to that crew. Calm down. Shut up. Shut up.
Well, so obviously we're not going to have an Oscar contending film for Joaquin Phoenix as a gay character. So we're going to move on to Wild Robot here right now.
Yeah, just imagine that. Just imagine the Rotten Tomato score, 1% audience score, 99.9999999% critic score. That's what it was going to be.
Of course, yeah. But if you want to grab the super chat, and then we'll move on to our next topic.
Okay.
From We Too, you're going to be the super chat guy.
Oh, super chat. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
What are those things? We don't normally get them.
Yeah, I was. I actually was shocked that there was a super chat. Okay, this is from. All right, your name is the best. We Too Dumb Motherfucker Gentlemen.
I don't know. Is that what it is?
That's his name. We Too Dumb Motherfucker Gentlemen.
Okay, what does it say?
He says, my last donation saving for a trip to Cambodia. I don't even know if I'm joking at, but I'll tell you what, I've wanted to go to Cambodia and Thailand for a long time.
Stop saying that shit, man.
I mean, I know everyone's like, Thailand,
or at least say why. The beaches are great. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because I can get a hotel room there overlooking the ocean.
Just stop talking.
For like $60 a night, that has 5 bedrooms and a personal butler and a masseuse on call.
And what else?
That's the only reason.
Okay.
It's affordable and it's beautiful. I didn't know there was like some crazy I didn't know there were lady boys and stuff like that. I wasn't even everyone that said that last time, you overthought it. Okay. I was just thinking about the affordability of a vacation.
We need to show our merch product that we made for this situation.
Oh, we did. We
need to show our merch product. Listen, if you, like Brian, are just excited about visiting Thailand, perhaps for all of the right reasons, this is for you.
Everyone gave me a hard time about wanting to go to Thailand. Like,
you're like, Joaquin, I don't know. Why is everybody giving me a hard time?
What's the problem? So we made this shirt. You know what's funny? This is funny. We've sold like maybe 4 of these in the entire time it's ever been up, right?
That's hilarious.
But what's really funny is every person that bought them has been like a 3X or a 4X.
That tracks.
That totally tracks. Like, oh yeah, we're going to Thailand too. Heck yeah, let's get to Thailand, boy. All right,
you're just so much trouble. Okay, let's move this along here. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you. We do a dumb motherfucker. I'm just saying his name.
You just want to say it. I believe that same guy who changes his name every once in a while.
He does, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about just the weekend's movies coming up. We kind of went into it a little bit. My wife is totally obsessed with this Wild Robot movie. I had no idea that I guess this is like a huge kids book, Wild Robot, and they decided to make a movie about it, and apparently Universal is extraordinarily like they won like an Oscar for this thing. Like it's going through like the normal Oscar buzz. And I just don't know, like, is that typical? What do you know about animation movies being like set up for Oscars? Is it necessary?
I remember there was a Steven Spielberg movie that it was famous for like being the first animated movie to have an Oscar nomination. Oh man, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember.
The category's been around for a while,
BFG,
but I'm just saying, like, okay, well, the category's been around for a while, but I'm just saying, like, I know they market films, but it's just interesting that they're pushing for it. Apparently, Wild Robot has already invaded offshore markets. They've grossed $8 million to date, 2.2 million from Australia, and it's going to hit an additional 21 foreign markets, including Mexico this week. So it's just interesting to me because last week Transformers, they broke the box office with 24 million. So it looks like these cartoonish, even though Transformers probably older people, it looks like kids movies are back. What do you think?
I mean, I hope so. It's surprising how successful you can be when you decide to stop with the message and just try to make a good story. It's funny how Inside Out 2 is being applauded for how good it is, how great the story is. Well, the weirdos out there are trying to constantly inject sexuality in Inside Out 2. I see the craziest post about the 13 or 14-year-old animated character in there about how she's sexy and how she's obviously a lesbian and weird stuff because the movie didn't have any woke elements to it. And so they're trying to inject wokeness into it. Well, the reason why it's successful is because it's not following the recent trend of message over story. Instead, it's story. And then if you want to get some, progressive messaging in there, fine. But if the story is good, that is your primary focus. So I think the reason animated movies are back is because the stories are back. I think studios are like, listen, I'm not doing the script with the blah blah blah. You got to do something with a good story.
Well, I heard that there was a lot of pressure on the inside. A lot of people were trying to push some of those like LGBTQ stuff on the child character, and the studio was pushing back. No, we're not doing that. We're not going down that road. So it does seem like, perhaps that's flamed out a bit. I don't know why all these jokes are coming, but it seems like that's happened. So the good news is maybe stories are back. We'll see as we go forward. We've got live action.
It's funny, like the rage tweets of people being like, well, I was fired today because I stood up for my sexuality. And I was like, I am not taking this out of my animation. You're like, well, you disobeyed your boss and you decided to attempt to push an agenda over what was best for the company, and you were fired. Bro, you're not a moral soldier here, okay? You're just a bad employee.
And that's a great segue. It leads us to our next story, right? Bosses are firing Gen Z grads just months after hiring them. So we need to take a look at that for a second here, because now a lot of these, obviously, these people pushing for it are younger people, right?
Right.
And so what we got to look at, and we got to see if, what's happening here. So apparently, a lot of the Gen Zers are coming out, and it seems like they're having some unprepared and unprofessional problems, right? So they're showing up for work.
I mean, before you go to that, did you ever see that TikTok? It went viral, where the Gen Zer was like, I have time blindness. It's a disability.
No. Is that real?
Yeah. He goes, I can't. She's like, I can't. I have a hard time being on time and understanding the progression of time. It's a literal disability. I shouldn't be penalized because of my disability. Does anyone else out there suffer from time blindness or whatever it was called?
Time blindness.
Every comment was like, you don't have time blindness. You're just lazy.
So it looks like, after complaining that Gen Z grads are difficult to work with for the best part of 2 years, bosses are no longer all talk, no action. Now they're rapidly firing young workers who aren't up to scratch just months after hiring them. According to a new report, 6 in 10 employers say they have already sacked some of the Gen Z workers they hired fresh out of college earlier this year.
Surprise, surprise. Oh, no. Oh, you can't do your job. You're complaining that you want to do it from home and that you don't want to be on time and that you forgot your chai latte from Starbucks. Well, guess what? Welcome to the workforce. You know what university and college isn't? The actual workforce. You are not coddled in the workforce like you are in your super progressive, over-the-top woke college setting. Guess what?
Yes.
The workforce requires you to actually produce something of value, or you don't have a job. Like, it's not that hard.
That sounds like what these bosses are saying. So what is it they're looking for here? So intelligence.com, a platform dedicated to helping young professionals navigate the future of work, surveyed nearly 1,000 U.S. leaders. It found that the class of 2024's shortcomings will impact future grads, meaning 6 out of the 10 bosses said they're hesitant to hire college grads next year.
Wow.
So that means, hey, if there's opportunities for you young, old, a little bit older, middle-aged people to get out there and get jobs.
Oh, now is my time.
3/4 of the company surveyed said some or all of their recent graduate hires were unsatisfactory in some way. What they're saying is that employers' problem today is their lack of motivation or initiative. 50% of the leaders surveyed cited that as the reason why things didn't work out with the new hire. So half of everybody that was saying that was the problem, half of them.
Right.
Okay. The other ones are saying that they're unprofessional, unorganized, and have poor communication skills as their top reasons for having to get rid of them.
Yeah, guess what? You have to speak proper English in a work setting. You can't be like, zippity, zippity, no cap.
Right. Wait. Yes. So leaders say they have struggled with the latest generation's tangible challenges, including being late to work and meetings often, not wearing office appropriate clothing, and using language appropriate for the workspace. So give us an example of language appropriate for the workspace.
Hey, boss, zippity, zippity, no cap. I'm going to be late because of my time blindness. Hey, sips tea, but popping out. I can't even do it. I'm actually getting annoyed with myself right now
for doing it. Well, they asked, so that the bosses were asked, well, what are they looking for, right? And most of them responded, they want a positive attitude and more initiative. And I got to tell you, that just lines up with everything. Every time when I was in the Navy and we had a young new sailor come on board, and I'd always give the same speech. Do you want to know how you can be successful? Okay, here you go. This is very simple for you new young people. Show up on time, have a good attitude, a clean uniform. That's it. Those are the only things you need to do to be successful to start out, and it's true, because what a lot of these bosses are looking for is they're looking for, they would rather work with someone with a good attitude than somebody with a bad attitude.
Right.
And what are we learning from kids these days? Because of social media, they're very comfortable talking to their elders or other people like they know them very well.
No, yeah. With familiarity, but also ignorance. Like they don't know what they're talking about, but they're talking as if they do know what they're talking about, and as if they're actual equal with people that are ahead of their station. This is a concept, like there's no respect, not with everyone, but a large portion of Generation Z just has no respect for anyone. It's all about them. They're hyper selfish because, let's be fair, like they've grown up in a culture that says your mental health is more important than anything else. How you feel is more important than anything else. Like we literally bred an entire generation of people that are so hyper selfish they can't even get out of bed on time for work.
Yeah, there's, in everything, there should be balance. Yes, your mental health is important, but at the same time, you have to know, when you're taking that too far. Yeah, there is going to be a little bit of anguish involved with work. They call it work for a reason.
Yeah,
it's because it's not easy. Right. It's not fun, right? There's a high school in London. They're trying a 12-hour school day to prepare children for adult life. So that's where we're at now.
Okay. I'm not. Can we stop with mimicking school in a professional setting? I'm so tired. It's at this point, it's so obvious that school was just set up to train the next generation for work. And that bothers me so much because you're putting everyone in the same box. Get to work by 8. Have your 15-minute break, aka recess. Have your lunch, aka lunch. Have your other 15-minute break, aka nap time or recess, and then get picked up by mommy. Take your cab home, and then do your homework at home. We're literally training our kids to go to work and then take their work home with them to be successful. Like the entire thing is a racket. And it's crazy because like the new curriculum they have, like that Common Core, it's also not even like practical knowledge. It's more like how the best way for you to operate in a business environment. It's not the best way for you to actually learn that math or whatever. It's crazy.
I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can come out with a way. I mean, math's new. Everything's different. I mean, I don't know how to prepare kids for the future. I think the best way is just hold them accountable for everything. Make sure that they know there's consequences for not doing what you're supposed to do, and then reward them when they do good things. I don't know how else to do it, but obviously they haven't figured it out with the new businesses.
Yeah, there was my kid. So my kids are 13, right? And one of my kids needs help with her math a lot. And she came to me and she goes, "I have can you help me with my math?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." You know, I'm like, "How hard can it be?" She's 13.
4 + 2 = cow.
Right, bro. Why are there colors in math? What is going on right now? And it's like, Sally had 15 oranges. Susan had 32 oranges. Bob had -5 oranges. Like, what the? If Sally gave Bob 3 oranges and Bob lost 4 more, then how many did Robin have? Like, where did Robin come into the equation? And I'm like looking at this thing. I'm like, dude, I am not. I know I play a dumb guy sometimes, but I'm actually pretty smart. I actually got a fairly good score on the Mensa test, and I'm looking at this question that my 13-year-old is having to deal with, and it's breaking my brain in real time. Like, I'm so confused, and I'm like, I go to my other 13-year-old, which is like, she's the kid who is better academically, and I'm like, yo, what is this? She goes, oh, the answer is 13. I'm like, how? How did you get to that? Show me your math. She goes, it's very easy, Dad. -+. I'm like, no, it's not. None of this makes sense.
Clown plus horse equals hay.
Yeah, it's like, this is so stupid. Right. Robin wasn't even mentioned, but somehow Robin's in the story now. Yeah. How would I know how many oranges Robin has when she wasn't even in the first part of the question? It's so confusing.
Well, we won't figure it out today, so let's move on. Hey, let's find out if you have if you're rich now, so that way we can find out if we're going to either keep the show going and you can pay for your kid to get math lessons, if not. So, yeah. So it looks like if
I'm rich, I'm pulling them out of school. No more school.
It looks like there could be across the nation more than $20 billion waiting to be reclaimed by citizens who may not even know it's there. It can include uncashed paychecks, refunds, or deposits you didn't even know about it. It turns out so many people have unclaimed property, well, you may be in for a very pleasant surprise. And so, Brian, if you can go, and this is where you're going to go to figure it out, missingmoney.com.
Okay.
Okay. That's where you go. Missing money for everybody out there. Missingmoney.com. And you don't need to do a whole lot. You just put your name, your last name, and your first name, and it might ask for a zip code. So
let me just
censor
this part.
Do that. Buddy. And let's find out if you're rich, because
I want to type in my social security number on live stream.
468.
All right, here we go.
Okay, let's see if Brian is rich, and you guys hopefully are doing the same thing at home. Drum roll, please.
I mean, there's a lot of Brian Montgomerys, homie.
Well, but it should be like to your area first. You should be at the top.
Oh, I need to put my city. That was stupid. I didn't put my city.
You are also kind of a ghost, so maybe you.
Yeah. So, this is what comes up.
7.5 million.
There is no records found for that search.
Brian's a ghost.
I'm a ghost.
Check your wife.
Let me check my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she may have a bunch of money.
Like even my bank account is like in like a business, a Delaware corporation. I don't even use my normal name for my bank account.
It reminds me of like The Office, where Robert California's like, you don't even know who the F I am.
You don't know who I am. I'm the fucking Lizard King.
Right. That's Brian. What do you got? Drum roll, please. By the way, I checked myself. I had like $25. It wasn't
really. I got nothing.
Nothing for her either.
No, nothing.
Wow, you guys didn't get it. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
I got $25.
Poor in life, poor in death.
It's probably going to cost me more to like get the $25 than it's worth. So, I think it's like DirecTV has it or something like that.
Oh, I mean, that's pretty rad. So yeah, listen, go to missingmoney.com and find out if you are missing money.
Yeah.
And because you found out from us, we deserve a 5% commission.
I was going to say 10, so you go with Brian.
I mean, listen, 5% is, I know it's being generous. I'm being cool, okay? I want you to
5% of something is better than what you're getting.
So 5% of whatever you find on here, remember that it has to come to us. You can link to our PayPal. Link should be in the description.
Hey, Drew D says he has money in there.
Oh, we just came up, bro.
Woo!
Yeah, Archmage is right. I just checked and it said I owe $7.5 million.
That's not the way you wanted to go.
Why did you make me check this website? Now they know where I am.
No, they captured your IP address. Sorry. Okay, well, that was fun. I thought that'd be fun to do. Let's talk about Sean P. Diddy Combs. We haven't talked about him at all. You and I have not discussed
P. Diddy.
He's now Sean P. Diddy Epstein Combs. I mean, just trying to follow the story. Like, this is just like another thing with what's going on with this. Brian, have you been following it? Can you break down what the heck has happened to this guy?
This is what I know. The guy has had freak offs at his establishment. That's what he calls them. He calls them freak offs, where he hires dozens of professional sex workers and male sex workers, and then he has like celebrities over, and some of them were like very young, extremely young, questionably young, like Aaron Carter, rest in peace. I'm pretty sure he passed away. He committed suicide. And Justin Bieber, Usher, like we talked about before, people that were very young, and also girlfriends and people in the industry that were relying on him as their boss, trying to get...
But what got him in trouble?
Well, what he would do is during these freak offs where for some reason they purchased 150 gallons of lube.
Yeah.
They would also be doing a ton of illicit drugs and drugging certain people that didn't want to maybe participate, having their way with those people in really crazy gay bisexual orgies, filming it, and either using it as his private stash or actually selling it as pornography.
Blackmail?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying blackmail. Ooh. Every room of his house had like cameras, like professional grade cameras. You couldn't go to that guy's house without getting filmed. You certainly couldn't get drugged by a mixture of cocaine and Vicodin, and then what's that ED medication? Viagra.
Oh, okay.
They would drug people with like Viagra and cocaine, so that they were like up all the time, but their genitals were still functional, because like I guess when you do coke, your genitals don't function as well. So they would like fix that problem by just adding another drug to the cocktail. They would literally drug people, assault them, and then call it pornography, and then just say, when they would come out and say, "Listen, I got assaulted," he goes, "No, I have the video. You were a willing participant, and you enjoyed it. You don't remember? You don't remember?" That kind of stuff. And he did it.
So the point was for him to make money off of pornography, or was it to have
no one really knows.
Over him?
I think he's just, some people are like, he's just a freak. Other people think that it was influence. Like he had information that he can utilize against you. Literal video evidence of you, having sex with a 17-year-old. In fact, on multiple occasions, multiple accounts of girls as young as 16 were dropped off by parents at P. Diddy's house for freak-offs. And I'm pretty sure the parents didn't know what they were dropping their kids off for.
Wow. Yeah. Well, so Epstein had the same thing. So they said he was using it to maintain power over powerful people.
Right.
So that's perhaps something similar. Well, of all the things he's got going on, the guy's already in prison. Apparently, another lawsuit just came out that says that Combs and a former bodyguard allegedly drugged, bound, and raped a woman in Combs's house recording studio in 2001. And of course, this is what happens when finally the dam breaks, all the water comes down. So every person who was wronged by him is going to come forward now that they're not fearful. And now
that he's in prison, he can no longer ruin their careers or their lives.
Right? Yeah, it's gonna all come down. So we can probably expect to see a lot more coming. Did you hear the thing where he's apparently not eating in prison either?
Yeah, he's on a hunger strike or whatever.
He's like on a hunger strike or something. Like, listen, man,
I'm on a hunger strike, but I am not suicidal. Listen, I don't know what's going to go on with P. Diddy, but a lot of powerful people have been to a lot of his parties, including Jay-Z. A lot of musicians, very, very rich musicians, have been to his parties. Mm-hmm. And apparently, from eyewitness accounts, every one of his parties was a freak party. There was no party that was tame. There was no party that wasn't eyes wide shut. You know what I mean? Everyone was eyes wide shut in the hood. And if those people, and if there's actual video footage of LeBron James and Jay-Z and Jennifer Lopez, who was married to this man, in these freak-offs, that is a lot of blackmail. That's a lot of dirt that one man has on you. So these are very powerful, very wealthy people. You don't think they can have this guy taken out in jail?
Yeah, I think so.
Come on. This is Epstein 2.0.
Yeah, 100%. So according to the lawsuit, the alleged attack followed after Combs called Graves directly in mid-2001 and asked her for a meeting to discuss her boyfriend's supposed performance issues. Wanting to help her boyfriend and already knowing Combs, Graves says she agreed to the meeting. It was evidently a sick and twisted way of using his ownership of the title at Bad Boy and its affiliate entities to abuse people. Combs allegedly arrived at Graves' residence a few hours later in an SUV driven by the bodyguard, Sherman. Graves says she accepted a glass of wine from Combs and quickly became lightheaded, dizzy, and physically weak. By the time the group arrived at the recording studio, Graves was struggling to walk. And when they reached Combs' office, Graves lost consciousness. And this is when the bad things happened to her. Wow. It says she alleged that she woke up. She was naked and bound with her hands tied behind her back with a plastic grocery bag. And she shouted for help. And the bodyguard slammed her face down into a pool table and it just gets bad from there. So,
jeez.
Wow. So, P. Diddy's probably going to jail forever.
No. P. Diddy is a monster. And, I didn't have that on my 2023, 2024 bingo. I didn't.
You didn't.
Hey, guys, Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs is actually an serial sexual criminal. I did not have that on my bingo card, but I gotta say, not totally surprised. You know what? I think you would be surprised. I think we would all be surprised if we actually knew what a lot of these celebrities were into, because I bet you it's some pretty heinous, depraved stuff.
Oh, yeah. The more powerful you are, the more you get away with stuff.
Yeah.
So let's get off of this because it's disgusting and move on to something better.
Not a fun topic. I thought it was going to be
fun. Well, we hadn't discussed, because it's sad. I mean, there's almost nothing funny about it.
It became really sad really quickly. I was going to make fun of P. Diddy, but then it got really sad.
It's like making fun of him is not even good enough. It's like,
no, I feel like someone needs to, maybe he should. I'm not going to say that on stream. Go ahead.
So if you're just, to switch gears here, if you're following this whole debate cycle, so Trump has come out now and said that he will not debate Harris again. Can't blame him considering his last performance. was not great. He didn't. I don't think he did very well in the last debate. And
listen, people tell me I did fantastic. Okay, people say I actually did great, and you're the one who didn't do well.
Yeah, well, I wasn't debating, but had I been debating,
but people say you were. People say you were debating, and you were doing very poorly.
Well, I promise you, if I had been debating, I would have actually held her accountable for some of the things that she's saying.
Well, I mean, apparently he wasn't able to. They were like choosing when to turn mics on and off. I thought that was very interesting in that.
When it was his turn to speak, he should have just narrated what was happening. So he should have said, "Oh, are you guys going to fact check her like you just fact checked me? Because the last time I checked, she did." He should have narrated what was going on.
Yeah, they never.
You guys are helping her. Are you going to give me the same softball?
Right.
He should have narrated it to make it very obvious what was happening. Because when it's his turn to talk, he can say whatever he wants. When it's her turn to talk, she can say whatever she wants because she didn't answer any of the questions. And she said whatever she wanted. So you really can, and Trump to some degree did similar things, but he didn't do well. And as a result, and because she won't do an interview on and won't do the debate on Fox, she only wants to do it on CNN.
Of course, because CNN will give her the freaking questions ahead of time.
Right. So
just like they were first accused of, and then proven to have given Hillary Clinton the questions. I think it's crazy. Like they were accused of giving Hillary Clinton the questions in 2016, and they were like, "You're a conspiracy theorist. How dare you question our journalistic integrity?" Then, like a year later, they're like, "Yeah, they actually did."
Yeah. Well, and of course, they're
and it's like on the back page of the papers, and no one sees it. Yeah. But I love how they get all up in arms. They call you a racist conspiracy theorist, and then a year later, it's proven that they actually did. I think it was Donna Brazile gave Hillary the notes before the debate. Dude, if I was a Republican candidate running for office, I would never debate anyone.
Really?
I don't trust a single moderator.
I was just going to ask you, do you think that Trump is this a good plan for him, or do you think he should do a debate? Does this a win for Trump, or is this a win for Harris? I was curious what you thought.
I mean, what does Trump have to gain from another debate? Another debate on CNN where it's him versus three people, and they have the answer keys. Imagine going into a trivia night where one party gets the answers ahead of time. It's a total loss. There's no way you can win that. Now, I would have, if I was Trump, I would have called her out. I would have called them out. Hey, listen, you've just fact checked me for the 13th time. You're gonna give her anything?
Yeah.
You're not gonna call BS on the border czar thing she just said, or how about that? This. No. He kept going on about things that didn't really matter, and he didn't call them out on their. He didn't call them to the mat. He should have. But to be fair, even if he's at his best, bro, it's still Trump versus three people, and they have the answers.
That's exactly why he has to do it. I think that's exactly why he has to agree. He has to agree to go on whichever platform that she wants to go on, because she's not going to come to him. Here's what she's doing. She's taking little jab shots and she's hiding in the corner. He needs to go on there and he needs to make it plain and clear, just like you said. So when they ask him the question, to say, well, I'm glad that we're doing this debate on CNN, but it's a shame that Harris would not do a debate on Fox because she's afraid to get hard questions. This is, he should get out there and because here's the reality. Most of the country, the people who are undecided on voting, if he wants to get their votes, he needs to find a way to get their attention, because they're not circling the drain on a lot of the same echo chambers that these different groups are in. So they're not going to get to see the picture. It's up to him to kind of expose what's happening. And the only way he's going to do that is on a national setting like ABC or CNN. So I really think he missed his opportunity on ABC to kind of shine a light on what was happening, so that, the people who don't get the message everywhere else on what's going on, the reality about it, could actually see what's happening.
Right.
So I really think he's missing an opportunity to do it. Now, what's going to happen instead? He's going to do a town hall. She's also apparently going to do a town hall independently, separately. So we'll have to see. I mean, that can be beneficial, but she's yet to answer any questions from anybody that's not vetted. So we'll see what happens.
Town halls or whatever. I don't trust the Kamala Harris town hall because everything is scripted, basically. With Trump, nothing is scripted, but it's also repetitive because let's be face it, it's been 6 years of this guy saying the same stuff. No offense, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that whatever. There's nothing. I know what we're getting with Trump. I want to watch an unscripted Kamala Harris town hall so I can actually see what she believes in real time. Because I don't know. Do you know? Do you know what her policies are? I mean, I don't know anything about her because everything is scripted and hidden. You're right. She's like the midget in the corner that's just coming in when the prize fighter is kicked down to kick him in the face and run back to the corner while the umps hold him back. So the thing is, maybe you're right. Maybe he should do another debate, but let's be honest. And this Drew D said this. He's trying to come off as presidential, and this is what Drew D said. He's kind of trying to come off as presidential, and that sounds like whining. And yeah, it does. He's completely right. So maybe President Trump needs to just take the gloves off and just be Trump.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, at this point, he's not going to lose any support, likely. But at the same time, she's not going to let him. So I think that's what the issue is. She's not going to let him punch her. That's what she's doing by not going out and doing interviews, she got the win on the debate, unfortunately. And so that was the one opportunity he was going to have to expose her, and it didn't happen. So now there's no way she's going to give an opportunity. We're going to go all the way up to the election, and he's not going to have a chance. But she did come out on MSNBC in an interview with Stephanie Rule last night, and she actually sat down and answered some questions. Now, a couple of things you need to know about this, and I think there's a clip that we're going to show you.
So I just want to ask you yes or no.
She did. It was a preview, so it was taped and edited, and we probably believe that she got her questions in advance, because if you watch Stephanie Rule as she's asking her the questions, she's smiling and nodding and encouraging her. This is funny. It's almost like watching Hannity and Trump. It's almost the same type of thing. But
and it's funny because everyone was like, "Hey, you see Trump on Hannity?" I'm like, that doesn't count.
Yeah, but so this is kind of the similar situation.
Trump Hannity is just he's like Trump's errand boy. No offense,
it doesn't
to
count.
Hannity, but
and Stephanie Rule is the same thing here. And let's show this little quote, this clip, which I thought was funny.
Okay.
Because your opponent
there is
almost
no little
every
job.
day. Okay,
there's no such thing as a little job.
Okay, fair. Because your opponent almost every day seems to be talking about this. So I just want to ask you yes or no.
I got to pause it for a second because we cannot go too far into it without getting claimed. So me stopping.
I mean, this is a YouTube video, but
yeah, but still owned by MSNBC or whatever. Okay, here we go.
Any point in your life, have you served 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, working at a McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it.
I have.
Okay. Now,
yeah, she's lying. She never worked.
Wait. Go until she says what she did.
Okay.
The other job.
But it was not a small job. I did the fries. I mean,
she did the fries, bro.
I did. But then let me ask about a big.
Yeah. So,
I don't believe you.
I mean, regardless, I don't care. The point is,
I don't believe for a second she worked at a McDonald's doing.
My question is, you watch this, bro. Does this look like a serious interview? Does this look like somebody who's asking questions and trying to get information for real? No, she's obviously sided with her. This is obviously, and the problem is, Trump has an entire section of media that is just happy to ask him all the difficult questions.
Right.
But Harris won't answer one difficult question, and we won't know until it's too late. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who will never know what she truly stands for. There's a scene in that we don't have the clip there, but there's a scene where they ask her, she says, "Well, I want to give $6,000 for this, and I want to give $25,000 for this, and I want to do this, this, and this." And Stephanie actually asks her, "So, well, if you have a Republican Congress, and how are you going to tax? How are you going to force the billionaires to pay their fair share?" And she's like, "Well, they just have to," And it's like, oh my gosh, it's it's like not even an answer to a question, So it's very interesting to see. She doesn't seem very prepared, but we'll have to keep following it. So
yeah, we got a super chat from Ken at the Rook for $20. Thank you, Ken.
Gosh.
Yeah, Ken coming through hot today. He says she lost and knows it. It's the loser who wants a rematch and not the winner.
Ooh, okay. I'll buy that for $1.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's generally pretty true, right? Trump's like, I'm good. I got what I wanted. Whatever. I'm good. I don't want.
Yeah, if he feels comfortable with it, and it's possible. The way I look at it, maybe I'm disappointed because I saw what I felt like was an opportunity for Trump to basically expose her in that debate. Now, she didn't do anything good, and you can arguably say nobody won the debate, in a way, because we really didn't get anything from it. But maybe he does feel confident that she was exposed in some sort of way.
Come on, Harris. She lied like continuously. She went out of her way. She was trying to get him upset, so she kept attacking him in like really personal ways to try to get a reaction. And to his credit, really didn't get a reaction from him, because in the past, like original Trump original edition 2016 would not have let her say half that stuff without coming back with something ridiculously sexist or something,
Yeah, it is, and it's tough, But what I notice about Harris is it's like when she starts talking, it's like she memorized something and she's trying to spit that back out, but halfway through, she just sort of forgets what she was supposed to remember and then starts making shit up as she's going along.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
So my concern is what happens when she has to critically think as the president? When she gets put into a situation that's maybe impromptu. She has to be able to think on her feet, and that's going to be difficult.
I agree. Okay.
All right. So we'll get off of the presidential stuff, but we need to stick with one other presidential person right now. We think, is he the president? Who is the president right now? Is Biden the president? Or
yeah. Okay.
Because it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I have a question. That's my question. Who is the president of the United States right now?
Who is it?
Because no one knows. Oh, well, it's obviously President Biden. No, but he took a vacation and hasn't come back since then. That was 3 weeks ago. Who is running the country? Who is running the United States of America right now? Because I don't think it's President Biden. I just don't.
Well, it's a great question, but he obviously did something because he just announced $8 more billion in military assistance for Ukraine.
Oh my God!
Today he noticed that. So this, let's go into this a little bit. So right now we've given Ukraine $56 billion, and now Biden has approved an additional $8 billion. Now Congress did approve nearly $175 billion package, we could give, and then the president gets to dole out the money as he sees fit.
So they pledged a lot more than that.
They've pledged to spend a lot more. Now, what's interesting the number, that number is more than we've spent on NASA in nearly a decade. Going into space, exploring, protecting the planet from asteroids, things like that. So we've given now Ukraine more than we've spent on the NASA program in a decade. Now, here's what's really interesting is who's getting the money. So a lot of people will say, well, here's the thing. Ukraine's not getting all that money. Most of that money is coming back to the U.S. And they would be accurate.
The war machine.
Yes. So this makes companies like General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, it makes them very rich, right? Now, what's interesting about this and what's wrong with this? So some people say, well, it's okay. The money's coming back in. Well, it's making these companies very rich. And I would argue it's making some people very, money. Maybe it's paying for the jobs for the people who work there, who make the weapons that we're reproducing. So there's some of that going on. But what it's really doing is it's making their board members ultra wealthy.
Yeah,
the people who own the ultra wealthy. And guess where the politicians go to serve on boards after they leave the government?
Yes, this is what's so dirty about
those boards. That's where those companies.
Yes.
Those very companies. Okay. And so that what they're doing is, in a way, these politicians, including people, and Biden's old, so maybe he doesn't count, but he's probably just going to retire after this or die. I don't know. So in a lot of ways, they're planning their own future earnings. They're setting up their future wealth.
Yeah. This is the exact problem. What you just said is so important, Shane, because the people that are sending money to Ukraine, who is sending it back to the American war machine, the companies that are actually profiting from it, and they're profiting. Let me tell you something, right? They are war profiteering right now. Those people then go to work as advisors, CEOs, and various different, fluff positions at these exact same businesses when they leave office.
That's right. Yep.
That, like, does no one not see how ridiculous, what a ridiculous conflict of interest that is?
They do, but nobody does anything about it. So my question is, and honestly, you're asking the right question, because, the reality is these politicians, they never want this war to end. These companies, they keep making money. Of course they don't. Right. But our tax dollars are paying to build up these companies. And so wouldn't I love to own a company that the government gives me endless amounts of money to operate? See what I'm saying? So, it's just not fair.
We should stop doing YouTube and start doing bullet making or whatever.
We would be really bad at that.
Yeah, we would not be very good at it. I agree.
Anyways, we should talk about that a little bit because it's true. The money's coming back.
Another $8 billion. So what's the total now up? Did you know?
So yeah, the total's now going to be $64 billion in actual money spent.
So 64 billion with a B has been spent, and over 160 has been pledged, right?
Yeah, 175 billion.
175 billion has been pledged. Do you understand how insane those numbers are?
I can't even fathom that much money.
I can't, like the number is like it's shocking to me. These numbers are, whether you agree with the war, whether you hate Russia, if maybe you're buying the propaganda, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Like, bottom line is, it's a proxy war that we are funding. Not for morality's sake, because you could be like, well, Putin is evil. Fine. And? What? If he gets Ukraine, he's going to take over the rest of the world. No, he's not. That's insane. He'll start World War III. No, this might start World War III. Like, okay, letting him have Ukraine wouldn't affect us whatsoever. It would barely affect Ukraine. Barely. They're already super close to each other. Its bottom line is they wanted to put weapons on Ukraine. United States.
NATO did.
NATO. And Russia was like, no. So we're just going to take over Ukraine, so it's not an issue anymore. And now here we are. So let's stop being hyperbolic about this. Fine. Who cares? Let's take the whole evil Putin thing off the board. I don't care. What's next? Who started World War III? You're wrong. What's next? What's next?
Well,
okay,
we can
so
talk.
What's next is then we just send billions of dollars over there, and they send it back to the same exact people making the rules to send the billions of dollars. And who's paying for it? We are paying for it.
Right.
They can't afford to do anything. Like, how many government shutdowns have we had since the Ukraine war? Yet we're still sending billions of dollars. Like, this is insane.
Well, we're never going to balance the budget, but yeah, no, you're right. And it is insanity, and it will continue. We'll see what happens after the election comes up. Speaking about people who recently almost got assassinated, the man who was about to assassinate Trump at his golf course, the second assassination attempt, left a letter detailing his plans. Do you know what that letter said, Mr. Brian?
Okay, you sent it to me, right?
It says, well, I probably did, but I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
The letter addressed to the world said, "This was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you. I tried my best and gave it all the gumption I could muster. It is up to you now to finish the job, and I will offer $150,000 to whomever can complete the job." There are so many crazy people out there.
This guy is still alive?
Yeah, no, they didn't kill him. So yeah, he was arrested. Now this is a letter.
I'm sorry. Who's allowing him to write and publish this letter? And also, isn't this so weird? And Okay. Why is CNN reading the letter out as an advertisement?
as like a encouragement.
I mean, you understand, like, so this guy's alive. He's in jail. Why is he allowed?
He wrote it previously. No, he wrote.
So he wrote it previously, but now it's being advertised on CNN.
I know, right?
What? Is this not insane to anyone else? Can everyone stop trying to kill President Trump? It's weird. It's getting weird.
How many crazy people who don't realize this guy's never going to be able to pay him $150,000 is in jail might try to do something?
I know, because like, look, people are so disconnected with reality. They might not even think about the logistics of actually being paid by this guy. They might just be like, "All right, dog, deal's done. Here's my Venmo." Like,
well, I wish, Brian, that was the most ridiculous thing, because it actually gets even more ridiculous. I did send you this. Another unhinged leftist from Idaho was charged with making threats against the former president, saying he wants Trump in a body bag. If we got that video, let's play it for him.
Oh, there it is.
There's a winner for you.
Oh yeah.
I've been fighting this Trump thing for quite a while, and I want you guys to know that it's over for Trump. Joseph Biden was executed in 2019. John Kennedy Jr. showed up, and Trump is a rapist pig.
What the F?
Now, I've had it with this. I've been told by heaven and Marion Albright to take Trump down. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, because I have ancestral authority.
What?
Chief Crazy Bull of the 1858 Yankton Tree.
What's this guy talking about?
He's crazy, man. He's crazy. You can find
I own the Black Hills per the 1980 court.
Okay, first off, this guy's clearly insane.
Right.
Like, he's insane. He's an insane person. I'm not sure why. Like, look, all due respect to Libs of TikTok. We might not agree on everything, but like, her shining a light on crazy I think is always a good thing. So like, yeah, show us the crazy, right? But you're literally giving someone a platform that didn't have a platform before. So, like,
I mean, it's true, but I think it also shows everybody kind of the ridiculousness. Like, if you do shine a light on some of these people and show like, wow, this person's really crazy. So at some point we get to the place where you got to be crazy to try to assassinate a president. You know what I mean? So hopefully it kind of weeds out that whole situation. If you read, there's a new book out by O'Reilly. It's called Killing the Presidents, I think, or one of those things. He actually talks about how every person who's tried to assassinate a president was mentally ill. And he kind of goes through it in his whole book. And I just think it's very interesting that it seems to be the same with the three people so far that have, well, two people. So we've got the guy who shot at the president. He was obviously mentally ill. The guy who was arrested trying to kill the president at his golf course, obviously mentally ill. And now you got a guy like this. So, you know, there's probably 1 million mentally ill people out there in our country.
I mean, there's more than that. I'll tell you right now. There are people that are mentally ill that don't think or even know they are. Like, they don't think they're mentally ill, and they don't know that most other people, and a lot of people don't realize that they're mentally ill, but they are mentally ill. You know, we have this like society that's sort of like we've made like a lot of people into like ADHD, ADHD, sort of phasic dopamine junkies, right? What we've done is we've given them a device, and a phone or tablet or whatever that has high speed access to all the knowledge in the universe. And then we've entertained them with 30 seconds to 1 minute clips of crap that doesn't matter. And then we've taught them that they get a little bit of dopamine every time they scroll up to the next clip. And so we've trained like society to continually scroll up looking for the next piece of trash to ingest. And then we wonder why these people start to become crazy. Like, this is Chinese, chicken torture, whatever it was called. Like, this is basically water torture, but with a feed of never-ending trash videos and clips. And you want to inject more into it. In the middle of all that, every fifth video is some insanely over-sexualized, perverted, depraved thing that just continually spirals these especially young men down a rabbit hole of just selfishness and insanity. And we have fostered this in our society. We have not only fostered it, but we've rewarded it. We have not only rewarded it, but we have taught people to create this content for us. Like, we are the torturers, have become the tortured, have become the torturers. We have monetized the phenomenon of destroying society 1 30-second video at a time. Welcome to the internet, dude. I love the internet, but man, we went a little too far with it.
Interesting. All right. Well, the internet wouldn't have given us this one other wonderful story had it not been for people posting things online. A man goes on a racist tirade during road rage incident on the 405 freeway, which Brian and I have been on many, many times in Los Angeles. And it is a very infuriating, frustrating freeway. But the headline was interesting. I noticed that the headline that was put out was that this man goes on a racist tirade. Let's watch the video. It's obvious that he's doesn't do the right thing here. And then we'll talk about why we got to ask ourselves, is this really a racist tirade?
Copy.
What is the matter with you? What the is the matter with you? Look at my truck, you piece of you.
Got a dead air here, huh?
Take it back to
there we go.
Mexico, you piece of
Tama conmigo?
Hello?
This guy's really upset.
I need police and fire. What the you looking at?
You can probably pause it there.
Out of here.
What are you looking at?
Get the out of here.
Out of here.
Get the out of here too. Yeah, this guy just cut me off and wrecked my truck right now. Yeah. You better have insurance.
Oh my God.
Right here at the Santa Monica Boulevard.
The 405 is nuts though, bro.
It is.
No.
Okay, so let's roll back here. So, okay. So now you just saw what happened. Obviously, he was not great. So here's, okay, the headline is, man goes on racist tirade. Okay, here's what he said. He came out with a statement the next day, and here's part of what he said. He said, so apparently the one guy, the guy he's yelling at, hit him, pulled out in front of him and hit him.
Right.
Okay. He says, unfortunately, I lost my temper and started saying many inappropriate things that I didn't mean or have no real belief in, but I know it can really get under somebody's skin. I'm also Latino and I'm darker than he is. I have no excuse for what I said other than I was angry and was saying. Now, the question for you, Brian, can you be racist against your own race?
First off, it's so disingenuous. I love this Fox, CNN, MSNBC. They're all trash. All these news agencies are just absolute clickbait trash. I don't know how our media have turned into basically BuzzFeed articles circa 2003, but now this is where we're at. His racist tirade was that one statement when he said, go back to Mexico. The guy is speaking broken English, right? Mm-hmm. Right? He's speaking broken English. They're both Latino, and he's clearly having a difficult time driving a 405. I'm not saying that the guy is not a citizen or not, but if like 4 of the 6 puzzle pieces are there, and this guy is super upset and impassioned because this man just wrecked his vehicle. He's probably, look, the guy they're calling racist, his life is about to get really hard. Yeah. Like they even with full coverage insurance. Let me tell you something. I literally was a month away from paying off my car when some drunk bimbo in a Miata jackknifes my wife's car that I had been paying for 7 years. jackknifes it in the middle of the freeway. In the middle of the street. And my wife was at fault because she was the one turning. Even though the person fled the scene of the crime.
Was on drugs.
Left
the vehicle and ran.
The cop still made my wife at fault. So my insurance totaled my car that I was 1 month from paying off. This guy, even if he has full coverage insurance, who knows if the other guy does or not?
That's what he was saying. He was saying you better have insurance. So we do have this problem in Southern California specifically.
It's a major issue
where you have these immigrants. Generally, if they don't speak any English, they've probably come over illegally in most cases. In 99% of the cases, when you run into somebody who doesn't speak any English,
over here, yes.
Or they came across illegally and they have kids that are now. Listen, this has been going on for generations. So what this Latino guy who's
family members that have been here for like 40 years and they're not citizens.
Right. So this Latino guy that's being the racist, he was obviously born here, maybe a couple, 2-3 generation, who knows how long his family's been here, but he's more Americanized, I guess, speaks fluent English, as you can tell. But he
has a new truck. He has insurance. He knows how the system works. The guy who probably destroyed his truck doesn't.
Right. So my point is, Brian, you didn't answer my question.
Sorry.
Can you be racist against someone from your own race?
No, I don't think you can. I think that if you're pointing out the obvious and obvious, whether you're that person's race or not, it's not racist. It's just pointing out an obvious.
It's maybe a little over the top and a little
sure
and a little angry.
Yeah,
but that's not what gets you headlines, right?
But yeah, so he's pissed though because you understand, this guy, you have no idea how his life is affected. He's obviously a blue collar worker. He's a regular person like you and me. He can't afford just to go buy another truck the next day. He's going to be late for work. This is going to cause an insane amount of trouble for him because this random dude who doesn't speak English didn't know how to drive on the 405.
That's right.
We're calling the victim a racist. Welcome to 2024, everyone. The victim of a crime whose life is going to be upturned for a while is the one that's being called out. He has to make the statement where he apologizes. Holy crap. He's apologizing. I mean, if that was that guy and they're like, raise him back. I deny nothing I said. Everything I said was completely factual. He is a bleep. I would have just doubled down. I would have tripled down. I would have been mad. I'm still mad. It's been 6 months since they destroyed my wife's car and 7 years of paying vehicle payments. I'm still upset. I hope I never meet that person in real life. I don't know what I'll do. It's really bad. This guy has the right to be angry. His life is going to have trouble. And so, no, I don't think he's racist. I don't think you can be racist when you're from this. I mean, yes, you can. You can be racist if you're from the same.
Do you think you can be racist against your own race?
Yeah, I think you can, but I don't think he's racist in this. I think he's pointing out 4 of the 6 determining factors.
I think he might have actually told him to go back to Mexico. Would that be a racist statement?
No. What if the guy is from Mexico?
I'm sorry. I'm setting all this up.
Sorry. We live here, bro. If a dude in a beat up truck hits you and doesn't speak English and doesn't have insurance, 99% of the time, he's from where? Canada?
Well,
he's from Canada?
It's funny because, please listen, sir, hopefully you're not upset. This man said some really inappropriate things to you saying, go back to Mexico. Listen, where are you from, sir? Mexico.
Right. And I'm not racist against, none of it, by the way, Shay and I are not racist against anyone.
I'm still trying to figure out what racism is because I thought racism meant hate.
Yeah.
But apparently it just means saying something inappropriate.
Yeah, so apparently. Both of our wives are Mexican. I have multiple family members that are Mexicans.
You sound like that guy who's like, a lot of my friends are black.
No, I mean, it's true. My favorite kind of woman is a Mexican woman. And every single...
I don't know if that makes it better.
And every single person on one side of my wife's family is literally either in Mexico or here illegally from Mexico.
Or illegally.
Right? One of my wife's parents is literally not here in this country. And all of that part of the family is either there or here illegally. I'm not racist against people. I love these people. But there is a problem with immigration in the entire country, but very specifically in California. It's really rough. It's
hard to
really
drive
rough.
anywhere,
It's
sure,
hard to
because they
drive
all wanna
anywhere.
drive. Yeah, Ken has a good point here. He says we have to have insurance here. Talking about Canada. Well, Ken, we have to have insurance here too. But the problem is when you're an illegal immigrant, when you come across the border, everything happening with you is pretty much illegal at this point. You don't necessarily have identification, so they don't tend to get insurance.
Right.
And so what happens is we have something called uninsured motorist, which those of us who are insured have to pay for.
We have to pay for
extra. We pay extra just in case someone who is uninsured hits us.
And you know what? And you want to know how crazy it is in California? The insurance cost is so outlandish in California, and that's one of the reasons that most people can't afford insurance. Like, it's not just, can I afford a new car? By the way, new cars now are like $60,000.
Yeah, forget about that.
For like a Ford 2014 Tercel, somehow it's like $47,000. So it's not just can you afford a new car and a car payment and the interest rate associated with that, but can you afford the insurance? Because your car payment and your insurance are going to compete for how high they are in California. And part of the reason for that is because of an uninsured motorist. And you know what? I don't think it's right that we foot the bill for that. How many insurance companies have now left California and just like, we're not going to deal with California anymore? Multiple huge insurance companies have literally left the state and will no longer, and I had one of them recently that switched me over, and no longer will insure people in California. You might be getting a letter, from Progressive, and they're like, yeah, listen, we're no longer insuring people in California. Here's your new insurer and your new rate, and it's like 3 times higher than it was before because you have no history with this brand new company. And this new company is like a third tier, second chance financial kind of company. They're really shady. The kind of people that pull money out like a couple days early, cancel your policy right before an accident, that kind of stuff. Like, this is what we're dealing with right now in California. Well, this guy has the right to be mad. I'm just sorry. He does.
Okay, I got you. And maybe being so aggressive about it, not necessarily. But you're angry. I get it.
I would have been even more aggressive. Wow. I would have been.
Give me your phone. He's like, give me your phone. You sure?
Yeah. I feel like I would have. I don't know what I would have done, but like everything he did is like
gone full falling down on him.
Yeah, I would have been very upset. I would have been so. Imagine getting wrecked like twice in 1 year. Like, I'd be like, dude, you wouldn't be able to control me. It'd be bad. Like,
well, let's find out why some of this stuff. Maybe we can shed some light on at least how we can get more information on what's happening as some of these folks that are coming across the border illegally, and what kind of impact it's having on us. Undercover journalist James O'Keefe has a new movie coming out. It's called Line in the Sand. We have the preview here. If you want to play a little bit of that, Brian.
Yeah.
And we can talk about what we think we see here.
Yeah, James O'Keefe. What a stud.
We got an unaccompanied minor right here, guys. This is heartbreaking right here.
See the handcuffs? Those criminals are being put with the kids?
Yep.
They're putting the criminals with the kids.
Does sacrificing your value system and integrity to feed your family make you a bad person?
They're putting blinders on right now to stop us from seeing what's happening.
There seemed to be an internal struggle between doing what people perceived as the morally right thing and pursuing their livelihood.
You can't move 500,000 children in 3 years if you're asking a lot of questions.
Maybe it's all just human nature. Maybe the powers that be know that.
That is Stop the car. Stop the car. Where are you going?
They're very upset.
They're right there. Get down. They're in the secret facility right now. It's just all about money. There's a car right there. They got ladders. Right now.
In front of me are all the migrants. They're headed north.
It's not about people.
How much money are you making off of this crisis?
$1 billion.
What?
Every single Asian knows
He's at $1 billion?
what's going on is wrong.
I know you're just trying to do your job.
We're taking children, we're then delivering them to people who they don't even know.
No, okay, what's happening inside that facility?
You know what's happening here?
They all protect each other. The NGOs.
They got some spotlight on us.
The federal government.
This is dangerous.
I don't think we can trust anybody.
America, we made it.
I'm the king of the world.
Follow the journey of the immigrants.
Yo, I got a question. When are they gonna just murder this guy?
I don't know.
He's been getting
surprised
away
they haven't done it already.
He's gotten away with so much. Like,
yes. So what do you think of that? What do you think of the expose and what we're going to see on that? Do you think it's going to answer any questions?
I hope so. I hope it's just not a bunch of like rage bait. Like I don't like that. Conservatives do that sometimes, and it drives me nuts. So they're like, "Oh, look at my brand new expose," and like it's just a bunch of rage bait nonsense we've already heard before. This seems like it's really in depth. He's literally on the ground, like literally at the border, talking to actual border guards, talking to immigrants, talking to the people that are profiting off it. I think it should open up some serious. And you know what? I'm so glad he's doing that now. Like, when does this come out? October 10th. It
comes out October 10th, and it's going to come out on the Tucker Carlson network.
I didn't know Tucker Carlson had a network.
Yeah, TuckerCarlson.com.
Yeah, well, I will 100% be watching this, and I think that a lot of people should watch this. I mean, you need to know what's if you're not in the United States, it doesn't matter to you, right? But
yeah,
whether you're here or not, this is something you need to watch. This is not reporting from Fox or CNN or MSNBC from the comfort of their studio where they can criticize every single person involved. No, this is actually, the guy is actually literally at the border in the physical dirt, picking up kids kids that are crossing, talking to the guards, talking to the border agents. I mean, this is something everyone should watch because it's either a problem or it's not, right? And if you think it's not a problem and that the immigration issue is not an issue, we shouldn't be stopping it. Let people come here. If it's not a problem, then you should have no problem watching this and getting the full truth. Or it is a problem, which we think it is, and you should still watch it and get the full truth. Like, get the truth. And if you think, oh, he's going to selectively edit his content to make these people look bad, I got to say, people that say that about O'Keefe have never watched his full videos where there isn't a single cut.
Yeah, no, it's true. The thing that people aren't talking about, and I really hope this video exposes that, is the number of children that are unaccompanied that are just being placed with other illegal immigrant adults that they don't know.
Yeah, no
They're
verification.
taking all of these children and they're just, they put them in a state, they send them somewhere in our country, and they just put them with people they don't even know. I mean, that's not the way we would treat children who, they would go into, the foster system or something like that.
These kids are
there's
literally,
so many of them.
They're crossing the border by foot with phone numbers on their hands, and
there's tens of thousands of them.
Right.
And bad things are probably happening to them. And I really hope that some of that gets exposed so we can get information. And plus we can learn, hear from the border guards, the people who not necessarily can get they
don't have a voice.
To the media. Yeah. And to actually find out, what kind of money is, crossing hands and who's benefiting. We already know that the reason why, I think Harris just came out with a thing where she was down on the border. She actually went to the border, bro.
Oh, for the first time, the border czar finally went to the border.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
great. Good for her.
She's chanting with people at the border to basically don't deport, educate or something like that.
Whatever.
And so, which means let them in the country and then
just figure it out
educate
later.
Educate them. So because it's more votes for the Democratic Party.
No, so here's the thing I want to say about this real quick. And you can finish up if you want. This is why free speech is so unbelievably, monumentally important. Not so that you can say, the N-word on Twitter, okay? Not so you can, be a douchebag. The reason, that comes with the territory. But the reason why free speech is so unbelievably important is for stuff like this. Because you cannot get the full story from one side of the argument. You have to hear all sides of the argument. And James O'Keefe is doing, whether you like the guy or not, he's doing serious work here. And I'm very glad he did this. You know what's funny is this guy started on YouTube. He was basically one of us, you know?
Yeah.
And he was kicked out of his company, and he started his own company after the fact. And here we are. The guy has been doing better work on his own than he did when he was with Veritas. And this is why free speech is so important. Because there are people like border guards and children and people that are actually affected by this in a way that is life-changing that are not being heard. They're not allowed to be heard because they don't support the current narrative, whatever it is. This is why free speech is so important. This is why Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, is so important. That article that came out a couple days ago, where liberals were praising the Brazilian government and the Indian government for defeating Elon Musk in the courts and forcing him to capitulate to their terms and banning people and limiting speech. The people applauding that, you're literally applauding governments that have killed, tortured, and destroyed their people that are living in poverty. You should not be applauding governments that run their entire country like a slave labor force. You should be applauding the guy that is standing up for the one guy, the one person that deserves a voice. This is crazy. I'm sorry.
Well said. Nice color today.
You're
amped
because you're bringing up stories that you know are going to get me amped, like immigration, Trump. Like you picked all these stories that have my blood my blood pressure is so high right now because of what
I picked. All the stories that happened this week, just the last few days. These are the things that are happening that are out there. In fact, we can't get to the last few because we need to go to the member section, but they're not that important anyways. But I thought it was very cool that we talked about a lot of interesting things today, and we're going to talk about more every Thursday. Come back. We're going to keep doing this here. If you're a member, we're going to go over and chat directly with you so we can answer some of your questions, look at some fun things, just spend some time together. We appreciate all of you guys who come and watch us with us. And Brian, do you have any last comments?
No, if you want to be a member, it's pretty simple. Bottom left of the screen, the little join button. Hit the join button, become a member. We're going to go to the member section right now. And what's going to happen is it's going to go to a screen that is trying to get you to become a member. It's going to be like, become a member. You can do it, right? And then when that screen ends, it's going to automatically forward. If I did it correctly, because I do it incorrectly like half the time. It's going to automatically forward to that members video where we're going to finish the conversation. And then we're going to be able to have a conversation with you. In the members section, we are much more, what's the word? I guess attentive.
Chatty.
Like we chatty. We actually talk to you directly, and we're a little more free, and it's less formatted, but it's definitely, and it's more free balling kind of stuff. But it's a fun time, and I think that you'll have a good time in that members section. We support free speech to the extreme. So even if you disagree with us, come to the members section and tell us. I disagree with you guys are douchebags or whatever. We will conversate with you. Like we are not one of those YouTubers that stand behind anonymity. We have no issue with being completely and totally transparent and having a conversation, whether you agree with us, disagree with us, like us, love us, hate us. We don't really care. We'll have a conversation.
Yes, and thank you. Kenneth LaRoque just gifted 5 Pop Culture Unleashed memberships.
What a stud.
So that you guys can come and hang out with us and see what it's like.
What an absolute stud.
Kenneth, superstar today, man. You just killed it.
What
Appreciate you.
Stud.
While he's at work right now, too.
He's at work doing this. What a great
work hooking it up. So thank you
Kenneth
so much.
LaRoque, by the way, has been supporting us for like 2+ years now, right?
Oh, no, longer than that.
Longer than that? I don't know.
Oh, he goes back.
I've literally ran out. My brain doesn't go back that far.
It's like your taxes. You just throw
Someone's like,
away
don't you have on the Pop Culture Crisis stuff, like, don't you have a video that has like 4 million views? I'm like, yeah, I want to say we made that a couple years ago. Since it's 5 years old. I'm like, it's been 5 years? Oh my God. All right, man. We're going over there, guys. Come on over. And let's have a conversation, and just turn it up.
Yeah. And if not, we'll see you next week. We're going to be more consistent, hopefully.
Yep.
If Brian isn't flying off to the East Coast to have a good time.
If I'm not flying off to hang out with Brett, then we'll be doing the show. No, but for sure, we'll be here next week. Assuming there's no crazy thing that happens, we'll be here next week, next Thursday at 4:30. And I will not be on Salty Saturday this Saturday. It was my kid's birthday. But Shane will be on Sci-Fanatics. So with Steve
Saturday morning,
Shives, that should be a fun time.
All right.
Yeah, they don't agree on a lot. So all right. I will see you guys in the members section. We love you so much.
Love you guys. See you later.
Thank you guys.
Nothing is impossible. Just do it. Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it.